day been going? Just moving along.
Yes. Is it windy up there by you?
Not today.
Girl,
Not
this
today.
wind is whipping something crazy down here.
Is it? I went and took my son out earlier this morning, and I had this big old jacket. I walked out the door and threw it right in the back seat. I was like, oh, it's at
Yeah, it is
50
nice
something.
out. Yeah, it's
It's
nice
at 50 something, but it's like feels like 40 something. I'm like, 40 something is a coat. And I walked
out.
out
Right,
there like, this is fine.
right. Yeah, it was
No.
nice out today.
But we didn't have the wind. Y'all got the wind down there.
You got the wind, the sky is looking crazy. They were predicting all these storms and stuff. But we didn't get nothing but wind so far.
Oh, okay. Now I was gonna say now I kind of do hear the wind a little bit, but I was out there and it wasn't doing nothing earlier. I don't know what's up with that. So how did you like part 2 as compared to part 1 of the season? Wait, hold on, let me bring Shayna in.
Oh,
you know, I'll be bad. I seen you this time. Hey girl.
Only after 5 minutes, it's okay.
I see your thing up there. Guys, because I have this slide and then I can't see, never mind.
Right.
Anyway, how we like part 2 versus part 1.
Same. Yeah, especially the ending. I was like, okay, now I'm ready for season 2.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, not Tyler making us wait because you get good at the end.
Right.
This one was the best he's had in a while. It caught me off guard.
Okay.
Right.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do with season 2, to be perfectly honest with you, because we have a lot of ways that we could go with the storyline. So, and we're voting to keep Horace around. I know Horace is supposed to be gone, but it's like, can we just look at him just a little bit longer?
Did they confirm Horace is going to be gone?
They didn't confirm it, but that's the direction they were going in.
Right.
Yeah.
That sudden sickness again, girl. I'm telling you, that sickness just come out of thin air like that.
Yeah. Well, he said he was sick for a minute. He just didn't seem like it till just now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he was like more sick in part 1, and then he was kind of cool. And then, when they were sitting there looking for Charles, he had a quick little cough.
I feel like him and Keith could actually be a thing if, they allow his character to stay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could be the dynamic duo since he don't, swing that way, no way.
Right.
Even though we don't know what he's doing. He just sounds like he's just
swing both ways.
That's true. That's true. And it sounds like he's more curious because it doesn't sound like he's actually done anything.
Right.
They keep us going. Let's get into it. We got 4 episodes to get into, and I did not condense these notes. So, Lord, let's pray on it. But when we left them after the first 4, Kimmy had tipped that doggone car over. We knew she was going to make it because she's a main character. So she sprayed that man Traxton in the face, and she get out of that car. A good Samaritan helps her, and she steal the lady's car, which is going to come back at the end of the season. I said, why ain't see no? Because I went when I watched it back again for the second time to see if somebody was sitting up in the back seat. I said, no, that man must have been laying down the whole time.
Right.
I ain't seen nobody in that back seat. The office is fine. He makes it out, but the car does not. It just topples on over the edge. Before we see him give Jules a call for update, Jules is having a party for this daughter because he's an upstanding man of the community. When Mallory calls on her way to see, I always have these names wrong. She won't go to see Norman. She's going to see Horace. And here we are again. Who is she? Mallory. I don't get it. And he's like, when I find her, I'll bring her to you. Traxton calls. He done lost the girl. And then he gets an update confirming that Roy is at the Josephine Hotel. So he goes and runs it back to Mallory. Anything about any of those little scenes there you guys want to add?
No. I think when it comes up later, that's when it, Oh, sorry, Nina.
I was hoping that officer didn't make it, but
Yeah.
He's there.
No, Shane, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying about that whole thing with Barney and Mallory, and she want to find Kimmy and all that. Girl, she is wearing me thin with that. I was just like,
and I get what she's saying. She doesn't want to be embarrassed, but girl, you are doing a lot for you to be sleeping with the help. Like,
right.
What are we even
She
doing?
played it cool. Nobody would be looking at her. Like, I think Roy would
Right.
even been like, I know you messing with somebody, and she was chilling, but it's like, girl, the nerve.
Exactly. She's bringing more attention to it, in my opinion, than anybody
Yeah.
else.
It's just
Yeah.
funny that nobody believes that Vernie's doing it. Like, everybody's like, okay, whatever.
You would think he looked like a Ooga Booga the way they be acting like
He's a
ain't
good
getting no
looking.
play. He ain't getting no play from nobody.
They just know,
He's
like,
a good looking man, but I guess when you know, you know.
Yeah, like we know.
Well, Charles knows because Charles is sleeping with him, and Horace knows because Horace game recognized game.
Right.
Roy be on that stuff. He's the only one that's over there on that side.
Yeah. Roy was starting off good, and I was like, oh, he caught on, and then he didn't. Like, I gave him too much credit.
Too much.
When he said he smelled Calvin, like, okay, that little hug, like, listen, that's all it took. And for Calvin to pretend like he was into him, like,
right.
If you get off that
like,
stuff.
No, back away. So Charles is back over at the club. I had no idea that this was supposed to be Delinda's club. I don't even think it was this episode they told us. I think it was a couple episodes later when they told us it was Delinda's Dolls and Dudes. And I was like, really? Yikes. Okay. So Dustin, courtesy of closed captioning, because I don't even think they ever said the man's name. I was like, I'm taking notes. I'm like, the dude, which dude is this? But the other guy, he's trying to hit on Charles because that's the one that wanted to go rob the house. He had the address, but Charles is like, I done thrown tips your way and you ain't never paid me no mind, so I'm gonna need you to go on over that way. I was like, thank you, Charles. But he asked who stole my car. He's like, he's dead, right? He's like, the Bentley's outside if y'all want to take that one too. I said, Charles is comic relief, y'all. Comic relief.
Oh, you don't mute me.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just saying right.
Oh. So the guy is telling Angel that he wants to rob him when Angel sees Felicia across the room with Sylvie. And I guess we know it's Sylvie because she's young. They done got her high as a kite. And so he stops her and he kind of saves her and puts her in the storage closet. I was like, it's not going to be before too long that they find this girl. Like, it's not too many parts of the club, but okay, go off, sis. Go off. Ooh, Shanna got a comment. Opie's like, oh, thank you for showing us love. So Mallory puts Jillian out because she wants to head on over to the hotel to see what happens. And she gets to the hotel and the receptionist is like, hey, Mrs. Bellery. I said, ma'am, oh, your husband been up there a couple hours. I'm like, you don't know this game. You're just gonna give her all the information. Oh, okay, girl, I still use your perm. I don't care what they say. I said, and then she gives her the key to go up there. I said, what is even going on? What's going on? So they get up there. The room is a mess. We see the windows broken. They're like, did he jump? No, but they were up on the 40th floor, but he fell to like the balcony below. So like a floor or two. I was like, doggone it. I was kind of like Mallory. Calvin ran down there. I was like, he's still alive. She was like, shit. That part, girl. That part.
Right. Like, damn it.
So he wants to get an ambulance, but she's like, no, because the stipulation in the will, if anybody's using drugs, so she gonna take him to the hospital. I said, this is why I said it reminds me of Ghost on Power with Tariq, because this grandfather done thrown up everything in this will, and both of them kids is on this stuff. So I digress. Anything you want to add about Dustin flirting with Charles, trying to take his car, him putting Sylvie in the closet, Roy going out the window because Kimmy didn't do the job quite right, even though I don't know why. If she pushed him that hard, the window shouldn't have broke, but if it did, she should have gone with him. But we're not going to tear it apart. We're just gonna let it live.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Shani.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't know.
They own the hotel.
Yeah, that's the family. The family hotel, right?
They don't follow the laws. So,
At all.
and that is her husband. I don't think it's illegal to give it to your spouse.
Right.
So, I don't think she would have been able to get the keys either way. But the fact that she just gave it up, like, look, you can't deny her.
She was like,
She didn't even ask for them, though. How about that?
Right. What?
No, I gotta go get my supervisor. No, nothing. Like,
yeah, I mean, this is their hotel, so you know.
Right. Same thing about how they handle business with their hospital.
Right. I was about to say the hospital don't ask no questions. What's the hotel about to ask?
Right.
So I'm like, so what's the purpose of having a hotel if you can't, the man can't cheat in peace? Like, he gotta go to another hotel because his wife can just walk up in there. Hey girl, hey, here goes the keys.
And I wonder why she didn't walk in there before. I mean, she been suspecting, like, why didn't you been walking there? Why you wait till now?
Right.
Well, I was gonna say, I guess this is because Varney called to verify, but
yeah,
I mean, you could anytime he's out of your sight, you could just go over there and look. Like, I'm just gonna pop up. I don't know.
She has tangible evidence now, so it was like, okay, well, I know you're doing it for sure now. Before she was just speculating.
Right. A mess. So Kimmy finally gets to the hospital to find Horace in the room. Rain has gone for surgery, and now he's back to acting like Mr. Nice Guy. I'm like, you just was poking her in the butt with the cane. Now you want to act like, oh no, it didn't have anything to do with me. She just had to go to surgery. I was like, Horace, what is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
This be the aggravating writing of Tyler Perry. Like, girl, when I tell you that the way that he writes characters makes my itch. Like, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like,
we just was in another episode. We seen her, I think, just before getting poked in a hank, and that's why Kimmy took off out the room. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I just was.
That's why I can't do sisters, y'all. I'm sorry.
I gave up on sisters too. I think it's because she just know, like, this is part of the game. Like, I feel like Rain knows what it is. Remember early on, she was like, I don't think I'm going to be anything more than this. So her expectations are just low. And once he started explaining what he could do, she was like, look, he might be able to get us out of here. Let me just hush. Something Kimmy needs to do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was acting like for Kimmy, like, well, he doesn't know that she was on the phone and heard everything that he was doing. So that's it. And a lot of the dialogue was repetitive, but I was gonna let it live because I was like, a couple of times I was like, y'all just said that 3 different ways, 3 different times, but we gonna let it go.
Well, every episode is just the same old conversation, really, until the finale. Then that's when he wheels us back in. Otherwise, it's like, okay, we heard the same 3 lines. We know.
Yes, because we get our favorite line. I want my sister, and I want Rain. Horace is like, I don't know nothing about your sister. So he's like, Rain told me everything, but Kimmy knew that wasn't true because, Rain's going to keep it together even though she's getting poked in the butt. So he's like, listen, I didn't know what Jules and my brother were doing. He's like, if I knew, like, why would I show up at the club trying to be with Angel and then have to hide from my son? I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't know why you would have went to that club either. Although it sounds like they own more than one club. Because when we got to like the end, and they were talking about the club, and Norman was like, which one? I said, how many clubs do y'all own? We only ever seen y'all in this one. I know they said they had dealerships, but
yeah,
I don't know if
they're laundering money. They got to have more than one spot.
Yeah, well, I thought the judge said it was the club and like multiple dealerships, but Norman said which club. So I was like, oh, okay.
Unless they only do their trafficking through the one.
Yeah, I guess so. So Horace is telling, Kimmy, you're savvy, smart, caring, and ruthless at the same time, and it's just what I need. So he wants her to go back to work to get more information for Jules, but she's like, I can't do that. I can't do that. He's a demon. So he said, you're sitting here with the devil and you're worried about a demon. I said, okay. I like that line, Horace. TP, you didn't write that, but that's okay. I liked it anyway. But my whole thing, I was like, why would you send her back to work to get more information? Like, what more information do you need? Just ask her. I'm sure she could tell you anything you want to know. Like, there's nothing that she's going to be able to go back to that club and find out anyway. And you putting the girl's life in danger. But, it's a show. So he wants to cut his brother out of the will and his son, so that's why he's trying to get the information. And she tells him about Body and Delinda, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, I took his son out too." He was like, "Who, Roy? He's gone. I pushed him out the window."
Girl,
he's like,
the expression on his face, though. Maybe he was like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. She just said that she took your son out. I mean, I know you don't like him.
He said he didn't like him.
I don't think he really believed her, because at first he was like, "I would have heard about this. Like, are you sure?" And then when the doctor walked in, it was like, "Oh well."
It was hilarious. I was like, okay, can we get some emotion? Like, can you even fake a little bit of emotion? Like,
nope.
Maybe I just misread that. Maybe
it was
supposed
He's trying to process.
No, I was gonna say, I think he was more so in disbelief, because he was like, no, I would have heard. That's when we find out, like, we own that hotel. And then, like you said, then the doctor walks in the room. It's like, "Hey, your son's in the next room." He's like, "What happened? He had an accident at the hotel." He's like, and he still didn't have a reaction then either, but he was like, "Oh, okay." And then when the doctor leaves, he's talking about, if you want to take somebody out, make sure you do that shot. I said, okay, don't half-ass it, and don't you ever accept responsibility. I was like,
right, train her, because I'm like, she talks to me.
Right. But she was all the way. I was like, hello.
She was the only anybody who would listen. I did it. I unalived him. I ran over her. Like, girl, what? Nobody even asked.
That's why I laughed when he said she's so smart. Or, well, I think Angel, she's the smartest person I know. I'm like, smart where? I think Kimmy's just been going through the motions and running off of anger. What are we talking about?
Right.
So Horace goes to Roy's room. He asks what's going on. He get to start to jabbing him with the cane. I said, here he go. Here he go. Next thing you know, the two of them that's before they get to tussling. He tells him, "I can't stand you." Roy did drop a little tear. I said, "Come on, sir. Come on with the drop a tear." He's like, "You wicked little SOB." So Roy's like, he's sorry. He's like, "Why don't you just jump out the window again? Try to take yourself out like you did at 8, 10, and 11. I said, "Sheesh. Can you please give us a backstory?" I mean, it less than a minute, 2 seconds. Put it in the dialogue. Give me something.
Right.
Because why is a little boy trying to off himself? I said,
that's crazy.
TP gonna give you laughs and go dark at the same time. I'm just laughing at you poking him with the cane, but now it's like, oh yikes. So he's like, "Get your stuff together." And he's, trying to get him to go back to work. And then that's when they start going back and forth. He starts beating him even more with the cane. And then Roy grabs it. Mallory tried to jump in and she almost get popped with the elbow.
You want backstory about him trying to do that when we don't even know Mallory's backstory?
Well, I still want Mallory's backstory. I definitely need her backstory. She's supposed to be, because it's really, they made it seem like when you get her face and Kimmy's face and a description that is really Mallory and Kimmy driven. So we definitely have to get Mallory's backstory. I just want a little bit, just a taste.
Yeah, I thought we would have got part 2, maybe season 2.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even know this was supposed to be multiple seasons. When he broke this first season up into 2 parts, I thought it was going to start and it was going to have the resolve.
Right.
But I didn't know it was going to be going on.
I didn't know either.
But that sounded about right, because that's kind of like how he does
Tyler Perry.
Right.
He probably already was filming season 2 before season 1 even dropped.
Now, my only issue is because we got to get them all the episodes at once, but it's Netflix, so I'm like, maybe he should have put this on Prime, like his movies, so because Prime will give you, episode by episode sometimes.
Sure. I mean, he almost got the monopoly. So he got Netflix, he got Prime, and he got BET Plus.
Mm-hmm. And regular BET.
He doing something.
Ching, 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 ching. That's why he said, "I'm gonna write it how I write it, and y'all gonna watch it or not."
Y'all gonna watch it.
Well, he clearly had help with this, because this is some of his best work. I'm fine with it being on Netflix. This is the only show of his that I can binge. The other ones is like, ugh.
Yeah, you definitely can binge it. Mm-hmm. Now, because sometimes you'd be like, "What did he just?"
Yeah, like I like binging this one, so I'm fine. But sisters, no. Maybe season 1 of Sisters. After that, no. Lauren said, "Drop it by this fall." I want season 2 by summer.
It's probably coming before then.
I think the rumor is we're supposed to be getting it like September, October season 2.
Well, Tyler Perry already showed a little clip of Kimmy bossed up.
Kimmy and Jules in her little white suit. I said, "Come on, Kimmy, your little white
Kimmy and Roy."
Oh, that was Roy. Okay.
I think that
I saw Kimmy was all I really paid attention to. It was a man. I guess I should have figured.
No. You're right. Sorry, that was Jules.
In the office.
Yeah, in the office. So she had on the white.
Yeah.
And boss lady vibes. Yeah. That's gonna. Thank goodness that will protects her, but it don't protect Angel or Rain or Sylvie.
Right.
That's
true. And they can do that just to get at her.
Yeah.
Angel to be continued.
Angel has me concerned. I guess we'll talk about it when we get there.
Right.
Yeah. And then my whole thing is, no, they can't take you out, but they can make your life miserable. Like, who wants to live with that? It's one of you, and it's a whole family. I mean, I guess you got Rain, but
and you can't just get to the money till he's gone.
Yeah,
that's true. But maybe he'll give her a little access to the money. Shout out to
a little access to the money. All that got her with some t-shirts, child.
That her husband don't want her to sell.
So Horace is like, I tried to be nice and I tried to be strong for you, and Roy's like, you're weak and I can't wait till you die. I said, this whole damn family is just throw the whole family out. So he's like, you're gonna regret the day I die. You certainly are, because he's working on getting y'all behinds out of here. Okay. So Rain is out of surgery. She's like, listen, I ain't tell that old man nothing, but he knows a lot. Angel, and we know Angel done told it all, sung like a canary, because Angel, again, I don't know how he got in this position. He don't got no kind of street, nothing, just a pushover.
That's how he got in this position.
Well, that's true. But I don't know why they let him. Well, I guess they didn't know, because I don't know why they let him put him in that position. That's why I thought maybe, okay.
He was young and naive too.
Yeah.
And homeless and desperate.
So Kimmy lost her phone, so Rain gives her hers, and she checks her messages, and that's when she gets the message from Angel that Sylvie's at the club. So she gets him on the phone. He's like, listen, you got to hurry up, because Felicia was looking for her, so we knew she was on borrowed time anyway. Mallory is asking Roy why he's pissed off. Why he's pissed off, and Roy's like, he can't do anything with the will, is ironclad. So they're going back and forth. That's actually, I guess, supposed to be our comic relief, is the best I could figure from Roy and Mallory, because we get a lot of back and forth, a lot of witty little banter. So he's like, you can leave, there's no cameras. And then we see Horace sitting in Rain's room, and Angel gets tossed around because Felicia done told before we move on to the next episode. I don't think there's much to say about that. Yeah, because we talked about all the backstory. So Traxton is telling Alex what Kimmy's the reason I look like I got my behind whooped, y'all, and she messed up his car. Now Roy is in loads of pain, but the doctor said he can't get no more medicine because he's had quite a bit already. And this is why I said this must be our, hey, Letitia, our comic relief. Because Mallory's like, oh, you want to tell the doctor about your drug problem? I said, ma'am. And she's like, oh, the opioids he takes, nothing works anymore. Don't give him shit. I said, I thought you wasn't supposed to say anything. But she's like, she can't do anything because of HIPAA. I was like, is that how that works? I'm like, I guess, girl. I guess. So Roy wants to leave, but the doctor's telling him it's not a good idea. Although we could have left this all out because he ended up being home by the next episode anyway, and I don't really know how we got there. So he's trying to
fall off a balcony. How could he get home that fast and no resolve with the pharmaceutical addiction?
Just TP World, you done cracked your head, your back, your spine, you fell through glass, and
he had not a Band-Aid on him, no bandage, no bloodshed, no nothing. It just.
And she the only reason why you can get up so fast is because of the pain meds. Not enough pain meds in the world can make you jump up like that after that fall.
Right. And she pushed the hell out of his ass too.
And he was laying there for hours.
Right.
No ass scratches, nothing.
Right.
It looked like Horse Party put a beating on him better than their fall.
Then he was strong enough to fight back. Like, come on, please make it realistic and leave.
I mean, at first he was complaining a little bit about his back, but that's all we got out of it. After that, it was like, I had an ibuprofen. I'm good. Like, what?
Right. Rain looked like she was in more pain.
For the whole season, Rain was in pain, but not Roy. So he wants to leave him. Then Mallory's like, we could get him to keep you for your substance abuse problem. I said, oh Lord. So he's like, can you please get the F out? So she's like, okay, honey, I don't want you to beg. As soon as she leaves, he asked the doctor, do you hate your husband? And she's like, I have a wife that I love. He's like, that's just gross. I said, sir, you just childish. Why you call a woman gross? Because she got a wife that she loves. But he's still asking for his pain meds. Mallory get down there and she's trying to get into Roy's phone when Jules walks in with the whole, who is she? And I'll tell you tomorrow. Same dialogue. And then a message comes through. I had to put it on my TV and pause it. And it says, from Kimmy, 2 for 1 at your favorite strip club. I said, why would Kimmy be texting Roy that? I don't know if that makes
sense.
I was confused. I'm like, I don't even remember seeing Roy at the club.
I didn't think she had his number. I thought every time they communicated, it was through Jules.
Jules, right. So I was like, need to talk about confusion. That was one of my confusing points. I was like, And
how old was that message?
It said now. It was like she was trying to get in. She couldn't get in. You know how you have the because they had the pass lock screen up there, and then the message came across the top. I paused it. I was like,
yeah, because I know sometimes like I'll have like older messages that'll still like if I don't clear them out, sometimes they'll like linger on.
But usually the time
she already pushed them out the window. She lost her phone at that point. So how was she texting him that? Unless it was like an old message.
Yeah, maybe it was
trying to figure out like maybe
phone.
And I think like because she was scrolling for a minute. I thought maybe it was an old message. But at what point? And if you're gonna cheat, why do you have the whole message visible? Like, change your settings.
Exactly. I was gonna say my son's my one son. He don't want you to see nothing. It'd be like notification. I'm like,
right. You can't even see the name.
No, mine you can see. Mine
her
is
name
like that.
saved. Like, so you got her name saved. Y'all texting about the club. He's only ever been in a hotel. Like Tyler Perry just don't.
Yeah, and I forgot she had lost her phone by then because she had Rain's phone.
Yeah.
So her phone was probably in that car.
Well, it was just as bad as when Mallory said get a suit for the casket, and he's supposed to be burnt up. Like, what is Are you just trying to get him out of the house? Like, because what else is making sense? Hey, twin.
Hold on a second, y'all. Love you. Goodbye. Anyhow. So she calls Charles. Charles still at the strip club. She's on her way. Jules goes to the room. It's not really not much of a here's another conversation. So when Jules goes to the room, he's like, she pushed me. He's like, I'm gonna take her out. So he's like, you said she was gonna be just like Jillian. You said she was going to work at the office, and now Jillian is there, and she's being all slutty all over me at the office. I said, what is going on here? I guess that's why in the first part, remember she was in that outfit, and he kept trying to tell her he was going to move her up. Roy was going to move Kimmy up. So I was like, is that the plan to get her out the strip club and into the office? I was confused.
I thought she was on Body's position at first, but I didn't know Jillian was in the club. Jillian makes more sense. I was always wondering why she wasn't in the club because of her past.
Right. And she's shapely.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Mallory has an assistant. So where else would we how many people do we need working in the office?
Because you're definitely not going to be Roy's assistant because Mallory's not about to have that. Okay. And don't nobody else do nothing. Yeah. Even though Mallory, we don't never really actually see Mallory working, but that's a whole. It's not what we're here for.
Running the company, she's the face. Oh, you missed Mo 69.
Hey, Mo.
Hey, Mo 69.
I thought I put it up there. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, they can't feel nothing when they on that stuff, child. But he surely did need to lay there and get some rest. But he got his ass on up and out that doggone hospital and was home in his bed walking around like nothing happened. I said, I'm just gonna leave it alone. So then they start going, so he's like, bring her to me. I want to push her out the window. I'm like, okay, be cool. Then we start with the repetitive dialogue. Jules is like, let's just kill two birds with one stone. I'll give it to Mallory. So now we got to go back and forth and back. So then finally Jules is like, okay, I'll give it to Mallory. No, I'll give it to you and then you give it to Mallory. And Roy's like, how about you let Mallory have her first and then give it to me? I said, blink dialogue. What? Like, y'all just argued over it. He finally gave you what you wanted and then you're like, nah, never mind. He's like, you think there's going to be anything left? He's like, I don't care. I said, okay. Hey.
Hey, Dominique.
Hey, Dominique.
That's Horace's boo. Speaking of Horace, so he calls Varney in the middle of the night. He's like, I need a judge, one that the family doesn't know, at my house in the morning, and I need you and the legal team with a video set up. And that was funny because another content creator had said, like, in the first part that he was thinking about marrying Kimmy when Varney said, oh, you need to be married. And he was like, I was like, oh, I didn't even catch that. But by the time we got to this part, I was like, oh, I guess she was right. See, I told you, my man.
If he wasn't playing sickly, I'd be like, my man too. But
did y'all see how on social media they started dropping all these like thirst traps of him?
Yeah, with
the shirt off.
I was like, okay.
I have to go watch something else he's been in. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. Oh, they said, you know what they said he was in? I have to fact check it. Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love for You. They said that was him. And I was like, I got to fact check that. I mean, it kind of looks like him when they show you the picture. I was like, okay, all right, sir. Rico Ross. So Varney is asking him if he spoke to Roy. He's like, he accused me of doing things that I didn't do, having an affair with Mallory. And Horace is like, I know you ain't having no affair with Mallory. You want to know how? He's like, oh, because of my integrity and she wouldn't do that. He's like, I don't miss a thing. And even when you're not speaking, you talk. And I said, because game recognized game. Okay. He said, you know, you like boys too. Okay. He knows. He knows. And now Jules knows too, but we never dealt with that. Because when they found that watch, it was engraved. So, but I guess Jules.
And I was like, did I miss a scene? Because I didn't see that.
What?
And they found Charles' watch, or like everybody knew. I was like,
oh, Kurt, you said you missed episode 9. That was episode 9. Did you go back and watch it?
Oh yeah, I went back and watched it, but I was
okay. It was just a quick scene, because it was supposed to be evidence, but Jules wanted it, so the police officer gave it to him, or fireman, whoever gave it to him anyway. And when he looked at it, he was reading. He was like, to Charles from VUT, and Jules grabbed it, and I was like, cat's out the bag.
Yeah,
I got a little filmography on our guy
Rico Ross. Okay,
girl, he played the pastor in P-Valley.
Oh
yeah. Before the lady took over. Before the
I gotta go look now. I mean, we got to rewatch P-Valley anyway before it come back.
Yeah. SWAT, General Hospital. I don't see that the Whitney Houston.
Okay, that's why I said I gotta fact check it. Somebody put it up on IG, but sometimes if somebody even remotely looks like somebody, they're like, that's him.
There's a music video though, so I'm like, would they put that in there with like?
They might not.
Acting work. This is the
Dominique said they better not take him out. Gonna lose the fan base. Right. Yeah, TP can do that wild magic. Get a miracle cure. He does have money.
I didn't see him going to chemo or anything.
Not a doggone thing. But where would that put Kimmy though? I mean, I guess she'd still be all right.
She'd be in a better position.
Access to the money.
Then she would
Good
get all the
access
money.
to the money.
And
And
then
then he
she-
can still do what he want to do because he don't want her and she don't want him.
I think that he is going to start catching feelings for her. I think he swings both ways.
You think, okay.
Yeah,
I think he had a little soft spot for her.
yeah, I think he, you know,
That little
I
other
think he's
side.
just curious. So I don't feel like he wasn't like full fledged.
Right. I mean, he does have kids.
Yeah.
Well,
Although we're not sure if one or both of them is Norman's kids,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah, I mean, we know that don't always mean nothing. But I think he was just a little curious. But I don't think he like wanted to really settle down with no man. Like I think he, you know, I think he was just
He
interested.
just like, I was gonna say, he just like to look.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't sound like he's.
Once I found that out though, but I mean,
Oh my God. He does play the Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love for You.
Oh, okay.
1985. That's how far back.
That's what I said. I was like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I didn't even know. I just kept on scrolling and kept on scrolling and and it just kept on going. I was like, God damn.
he said he been eye candy.
Right. Hello.
Right.
Y'all better
He
put some
does.
respect on my name.
Dominique, we were talking about that when he was telling her earlier that don't you ever admit it. I said, yeah, somebody need to tell her something now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Not
Now-
ill though, in a grandfatherly way. He is a mature man, okay? He's a mature man.
I slam dunk him tonight. No, let me.
How old is he? He's 60, he's 66. That's
I know that's right.
he's finer now than he was in that video. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's like some people just age and get better as he
They
ages.
age well, yeah.
Okay, he just like looking. He don't like nothing else. Okay, she said you could look as long as you don't touch. As long as you're okay with it, because you're my man, my man, my man. He's a good looking 66. I mean, you got a couple of them. I mean, he's out of my league.
His
but,
wife
you
is
know.
very pretty too.
Who's his wife? In real life?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make me go look. Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
All right.
you know, Tyler Perry just want everybody swinging every which way. Even the doctor or something. I'm like, good Lord, are there straight people in Chicago? I was like, okay.
He got to express it since he can't express it in his own personal life. He got to put it in his works
He really could though, and nobody would care. Like it's 2025.
at all.
Like no one cares. Like it's fine.
But
But I don't know. I feel like
Ronald
it
Isley.
made me think about Barney because he was like how he was saying he wanted him to be his son, and I think that he like even though he knows or like he found out that he's like on the low. I think he likes that Barney's like a little more discreet with it, where Charles is like flamboyant and outgoing with it.
Because Charles is just reckless, period. Like,
Yeah,
even if he was.
I like that Charles is living his life freely and out and open.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer Charles to be like living his life and trying to be like living in secret.
I just want him to stop sleeping with everybody. Because, like, I mean, how often do you get tested, sir? You just sleeping with everybody. Is there protection involved? Because you just be having randoms in your shower, in your house. And
Yeah.
you take them to the Josephine since that's your hotel. Just take them over there. At least they don't know where you stay.
He do got a loose booty. I'm surprised nobody tried to rob him before.
Yeah, especially if he's messing with the people at the club, which he seems to be over there all the time. So I was like, So now we get another scene that confused me a little bit. Norman is sitting outside the warehouse with some guy. I didn't catch his name on the closed caption, and he just some guy sitting in the car, listening to two other guys talk about Horace cutting Olivia off, and all the things that Olivia has done because she wants this money. So Norman is telling the guy like, "Oh, that B tried to rob my brother." And he's like, listen, I need you to go find Debo. And he's like, okay, because I need you to get Jules off my behind because he's tired of working in that club. But I was like, I don't know that we needed that scene, but we got that scene anyway because now Norman knows.
Yeah.
Woo-woo. Later on, he goes to the motel to find Debo waiting. He apologizes for hitting a wife. He says he was high. He calls him Jules, which I was like, Then he's like, he was driving too fast on the road. It was dark. He was lost. He was lost on a private road. Norman, let the private road go, sir. It's not gated. Like, we can drive through it. I don't.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, well, Jules let me go. He's like, he didn't try to take you out. He's like, that's crazy. He would never do. Jules would never try to take me out. And I said, this whole conversation is confusing.
Right.
Like, who are you to Jules that you just look like a crackhead? And I thought he just met you. So why would he not take you out? Okay, fine.
I don't want to know
then,
what Jules told him to make him not sing. Because once he threatened to take my life, like,
yeah, and then he pulls out his torture kit, and I thought he was going to tell it then because we didn't see any of that. I was like, oh, he going to tell it, but he did not.
Right, he should have.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Well, he made mention later to
Olivia
that he did do that, but we just didn't see it on camera, right?
Yeah.
Or do you think he was just bluffing?
No,
he said he
thought
said
he was.
He took him out.
Yeah, he said he didn't do it. That's why he took him out. He said that he really did do it. So I guess the guy never. That's why he apologized to her. Because he was like, "I'm sorry. He really did do it."
Right.
I just wanted it to like lead up to, ooh, maybe it was Mallory. Like now Mallory just gets off scot-free. No.
Right.
I would have sung like a bird in my last waking moments, okay? If I'm gonna go out, I'm like, I'm gone. What you gonna do to me after that? So after the last piece of torture, right before my last breath, I'm gonna be like, I didn't do it. It was probably one of them boys.
No, because if he didn't say anything and then he let him live, and he would have been looking over his shoulder, waiting for Jules.
Yeah. That's why I said my last breath. And you only got one, you got one left, like in the movies. And I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. But he might have been like, well, since you told the truth, you're free to go. And then he would have been spending the rest of his days scared.
I mean, you can always take yourself out, especially as much drugs look like he liked to partake in. So it's more than one way to go. Oh, okay. I hope they're not kin folks if it's just, well, your stepfather is not blood, but still, we're not going to do all of that. So Rain wakes up to Horace in the hospital. He's looking for Kimmy. Kimmy looking for her sister. She's feeling bad for leaving. Sylvie got on my nerves later, child. We're going to get into that. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, where do you think she'd be? Probably at the club. That's why they take all the girls. I said, yeah, I don't know why we went on all this expedition to find his sister. You had to know that eventually she was going to end up at the club anyway. But, it's TP, so here we are. So Horace is like, listen, I had no idea. And Rain is like, don't let anything happen to her. So he goes off to find Kimmy. Rain calls Kimmy, who's sitting outside the club. We find out that, she tells Rain, Sylvie's here. Angel told me. She's like, well, I told the old man he's coming, call him. His number's in my phone. I was like, when did he give you his number in the phone before? Fine. We'll go with it. It's in the phone. He gave it to you. But she's having a hard time trusting people. A few minutes later, Horace pops himself one into the car. I said, man, you surveilling the club and didn't notice this man you didn't lock the doors, nothing? Fine. Cool. It's Horace. So he's like, I'm going to go in there and bring her out. So he's like, I'm going to have them bring her out back and put her in the truck. And Kimmy's like, I don't think it's going to work. He's like, listen, I'm the only way she going to get out of there. Mallory finally arrives at the club and tells Charles she's looking for Kimmy. Charles don't care. Charles is occupied. He's busy. So she goes and speaks to Felicia and she's like, oh, she's not here. She's supposed to be here hours ago. Kimmy finally gets Angel on the phone. And she tells him Horace is in the back now. They're asking what name she's using. It don't really matter because he get her anyway. When Mallory is ready to go, she don't want to leave without Charles. Charles don't want to leave without his car, even though he been drinking, child. I said, Charles, you won't have to start getting an Uber over to this club since you won't be drunk as a skunk every day. And especially since they took your car. So on the way out, Mallory decides to ask Felicia again everything she knows about Kimmy, gives her some money. She shows her a picture of Kimmy. I was like, okay, you're going to let him have it. Angel goes to look for Sylvie, but they already found Sylvie. So Traxton kicks his behind and locks him in the closet. And then out heads Felicia with Sylvie, takes him outside to Horace, who has paid $900 to get back there for something fresh and young. I said, ooh, child. Lisa brings her out, puts her in the truck. She's like, you got 1 hour. If you go over, it's going to be more. Sylvie's crying. Then he calls, he's like, okay, be cool. He calls Kimmy on the speakerphone, and she's like, get her out of there. Start the car. I'm going to drive up. She does that. It's a melee. Horace gets out with Sylvie, and Kimmy gets caught by Jules. I said, ma'am. Ma'am. How you let Jules catch you?
Right.
Anything about Mallory? I ain't know what to say about Rain. Mallory, Charles.
Child, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of drugs they had that girl on. Because she was, when I say she was tripping, she was tripping. I was sorry.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know, child. I don't know. That's one thing the diva don't do. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on because it just made her so.
Oh, okay.
I was so wanting to choke her because I was just like, he was like, well, did we get there about putting her on the phone and all that stuff? And she was taking the phone and it was going back and forth with the phone. I was just, I can't take it.
Yeah, because he had to end up putting her on speakerphone to talk to Kimmy.
Yeah. It was like
whole while she's complaining. They hurt me, girl. We know they hurt you. Gosh.
Right. I'm cracking up. The diva do not dabble in that.
No.
I don't fool around. But it was sad. Like I was like, that's probably some of the besides Debbie Morgan because she was acting her behind off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, because it really did pull my heartstrings. Like they're hurting me. Like, oh, what y'all do to the baby? Oh,
right.
God, the girl is 16. We got through this old ratty Party City wig on her and just sent her off the day. Like, oh my God. Then they threw up in the car. It was the girl talking about Felicia talking about she just acting. We know you like him acting scared. Like, what's going on?
Ooh, yeah.
Police.
Yeah. And they probably had to force her because she don't look like she would willingly take anything, and she had to have a lot in her system because she was definitely.
Then when we found out the mom boyfriend had been getting to her, just like we knew he was, so I'm like, gosh, these two just didn't catch it. Where is their father at?
I have no idea. Wow. That's why I said Angel should have took that man out when he bust up in there with the thing. I was like,
and
man,
should have got a little cap in her behind too.
She should have, but at the very least, because he was whooping Kimmy's behind, I'm like, at the very least, start with him. And, but yeah, they both should.
I guess we gotta save a little bit of drama for I feel like they're gonna write them back into the story once she get on the come up. You know what I'm saying? Once they get on the come up and get on the other side of things, then they're gonna see each other again, and they
might try to blackmail her. That way, that mom boyfriend was looking at Kimmy and Angel like he was about to try to get them.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they didn't
get married or something. Like they're gonna try to come back and get some money.
Yeah,
for sure. She said, "Oh, Sylvie got on your nerves."
Sylvie act like Kimmy though. I was like,
yes,
annoying. Good grief. At least
they wrote that right. Yeah, because Horace was like, "That's your sister for sure." Yes, Horace. Yes, it is. Annoying, asking questions.
I'm like, just shut up. I mean, at least the little girl's 16. I see why she didn't trust her sister, but it's like, I wish Kimmy would have been like, girl, look, I was your age when this happened. She was just a teenager too. So I'm like, you left me. I didn't leave. You was in the car when I got dropped off at the Walmart, girl.
I know. Wasn't she like right before her 17th birthday or something like that? And the mom was like, you got this.
She was right before she graduated high school, not even legal yet. So she wasn't much older than the sister. So I'm like, girl,
here's $1. See it when I see you. Like, it wasn't like she that was a thing that irritated me about Sylvie, but I guess younger kids don't understand because I'm like, she didn't really have no choice.
Right. At least for me, Kimmy doesn't explain, but that's the time she's a little bit older and now she's gone through this, and now the time to start talking and explaining. Kimmy don't explain nothing. She just pull up at the McDonald's drive-through at the doctor's office. Where's my sister? Nobody knows what you talking about, girl. Every time I know you know. Nobody knows. Like, girl, pick up. Enough. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Now
communication is bad.
Up there. Oh, you just don't understand. Well, explain. So she can stop talking about this so we can move on.
But you know they have bad communication to move the story along because she could have had a better conversation with Horace a lot sooner and we would have progressed the story faster. So
thanking Angel. I'm like, even though Angel got them into this mess, but if it wasn't for him finally telling it, Because
That's true.
this man clearly doesn't know. When she went back, like, I still don't trust him. Like, oh my God, I'm about to start jumping on her because enough. I need a few hits. I need a couple of licks. I thought we were past this.
In episode 15, Olivia is sleeping and wakes up to Norman sitting on her bed, but she got that thing on her. That's when Shayna was talking about he came to beg for forgiveness. And then she's like, he's like, oh, my brother is our enemy, both of our enemies. And she's like, no, he's number 2. I said, oh, dang, she wants you bad. You almost took her son out. She wants you bad. He's like, I know you tried to rob the stash house. I said, why does Horace have a stash house? This is the same one he said he bought for Angel and Kimmy. Now it's a stash house. What is he stashing? I thought Horace was on the up and up. I did fine. It's a stash house, child. So he's like, he heard all about it at the warehouse, and they didn't even know because he was looking for Debo, and it turns out he did take out the wife. He found out, the way he tortured him, like he would have gave it up by then. And I'm like, I know I certainly would have. So then these two start talking about if the will didn't have so many stipulations, like they both be gone. But they're gonna be patient. But she's a woman. I said, did she put her arm up and squeeze her breast? What are we doing here, Olivia? I was confused.
Like she was giving herself a breast exam.
That's what. Thank you.
I'm like, at least go for the nipple, girl. Like some. I was like, she was all like, here.
It was not sexy. I said, that's what I thought. I said, is she giving herself an exam? He just sitting there.
I said, Lord have mercy. And you remember she said, you sitting here with the devil and you worried about the demon. I said, ooh, child. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I was gagged with that. I said, she is so cold with it when she pulled that hammer from underneath them covers.
She said,
right. I was like, this, yes.
I don't know, no me. I said,
she didn't even blink an eye.
Even when they was listening and they found out she was trying to rob the stash house, and then he was like, she got money. It's like, not enough. I'm like, it's the principle for her.
Right.
Yeah. The teacher said he was stashing his wife and his boy.
Right. That's why it would be hard for me to be like, all right, let's move forward. Because it's like, I knew you had a crush on my friend, my homeboy. Like, I just can't overlook this. Is it me or him? Like, it's just gonna have to be a lavender marriage, and I'm just gonna have to be.
Yeah, exactly. She don't want him no way. It's convenience for her. Now he might fall for her, but I don't think she's gonna fall for him. That I don't see. I'll give y'all him getting soft, but I don't.
Yeah. Maybe she start trusting him enough. Ain't no other men around. I mean, who knows? Mm-hmm. But it's like, you did like Angel.
Mm-hmm. She waiting outside the room. Like, I don't know what y'all was doing when I was outside that room. And one time you told me to go for a drive. So
right. Oh, nothing. Just coughing up blood on him.
Speaking of Mr. Angel, he breaks out of the closet, and Dustin is telling him, listen, all hell broke loose. Kimmy done charged the gate with the car. You need to get dressed and get on out of here. He's like, but I gotta find Kimmy. I said, at least Angel with his silly self be riding, child. Because although he said he ain't got nowhere to go, but anyway. Yeah. So Jules is flinging Kimmy's behind around.
He did in the locker room. He's like, I gotta go see my son. He was like, shut up and come on. Like, we ain't heard nothing about that son in a month of Sundays. Like, son, I almost forgot he had a son.
Oh, that's what I was saying later when they were talking about, oh, I'm leaving. I'm with y'all, sir. What about your kid? So Jules is flinging Kimmy around. Kimmy do anything for her sister, so she apologizes. I said, where's all this fight that you had now for Delinda? And I guess she ain't said she ain't fight no man. For Delinda and Body. So Traxton is telling Jules, listen, Sylvie's gone. And he's like, well, go find her. Kimmy's like, you might want to let that go. Okay. You that's not the person you want to mess with. So Felicia comes in and she's like, oh, she know who that old man is. She be dancing for him all the time. So Jules has Felicia get on Kimmy because he's like, oh, I'm getting soft. Hit her. I said, okay. So she just, now that's when I wanted Kimmy to fight back. You just gonna let Felicia beat you up? Just that's
Right.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
It was bad enough. The way he was slinging her around like a rag doll, I was like,
Maybe she was scared they was gonna start jumping her if she fall back. I don't know.
oh yeah, that's possible too.
Because the way
You
she
just had to
slapped
jump
her
me.
like on the walk out, like girl, why did you do that before?
Exactly. So
But I
you
guess
know,
she had her back up by that time. So
yeah, exactly. So they want to know who the old guy is, and Angel calls Rain to tell her they got Kimmy. So Rain's like, she got it. She calls Horace and tell him, listen, you got to double back and get her. She's not gonna make it out of there. So Angel gets dressed, like Shayna said. That's when Traxton comes in. He's like, my son. He's like, So he brings him out there too. And Felicia's like, he know who the old man is. He know who the old man is. And Traxton started beating him up. He's like, yeah. I know who he is. All this is going on. Alex walks in like, we got a problem. And no sooner than he says that, Horace is right behind him like, yep, you sure do. You sure got a problem. He's like, your sister's in my truck. Both of you go get in. So then that's when Kimmy gives Felicia that five finger set to the face. She slapped the taste out of her mouth before she
that
got
joke was hard. I was like, damn, I felt that one.
She earned it.
Was kicking her with boots on, like
yeah.
Right.
You put my behind kicking me. Yeah, you gonna get all of this. The whole thing. Okay.
The palm
and it wouldn't
So
have
Horace-
been a long for me. But you know.
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Horace is like asking, like, who are you? This is your boss. He's like, I'm Officer so and so. I'm Officer so and so. My name Felicia, girl. Okay. All right, girl.
Sit down there.
You know, Mallory gave her money talking about, oh, who's Kimmy? She's like, where my other stack? Like, girl, you're supposed to get the money first, dummy.
She said you already got it. I said,
I'm like, you know, you deserve to get played for being
bloop bloop.
Angel number 2.
Yep. So they're like, this is your boss. And she's like, no. So the officers are like, no, we work for the city. I said, he's like, yeah, this is your boss. So they send everybody out of there. And Jules is like, listen, Roy was messing with Kimmy. So I had to come and make sure she stayed quiet. You know, she threw him out the window of the Josephine. I'm like, so Jules is talking to him. And at first it looked like he nodded out a minute. And he's like, I'll take you home. Like, you okay? You okay? But I guess he must have had a stroke because he was gone for a minute. That he came back and got up and walked out and had wet his pants.
Yeah.
At the same time, Kimmy had got out there, got to Sylvie. Sylvie passed out, so now she's ready to go. But Angel's like, listen, they drugged her. She just got to sleep it off. Like, she gonna be all right. So Angel's like, just wait for Horace. And she's hard-headed, so she don't listen. So she puts Sylvie back in that stolen car and get ready to go on over to the hospital. But luckily, Angel does wait for him. So Horace finally comes out. Angel helps him to the truck. And then they drive off to the hospital. Sylvie going to the hospital with Kimmy. Kimmy's telling her to rest, and then Sylvie see the old man in the back seat. She's like, "Oh, he's looking at me. Tell him stop looking at me." She thinks she's tweaking, and she's like, "Stop, sir, stop looking at her." Then she finally turns around, like, "What the heck?" I said,
"What a coincidence! You steal somebody's car, and there's just a body in the back with
that
the
was
eyes."
Girl.
because the way he
You
was
know,
looking,
you hear about that all the time when people get carjacked and they got the baby in the back seat.
yeah,
That is, I mean, that's really possible.
you got a whole
But
old
a
man.
live body with the eyes open on the floor is something else.
Baby.
And I'm
So
like, you got a body in the back. Why was you stopping to help people anyway? Like, girl, keep going.
that was what I said, especially when we get to the end and she says like he has dementia and he needs his insulin. Ma'am, you didn't have no time to stop for no pedestrian. She was already out of the vehicle. So like
Seemed like he was long gone by the time she did that.
There's somebody on the side of the road at mile marker 57. The car flipped over. Somebody help her. Goodbye. Like you were supposed to be rushing. I thought she was supposed to be rushing him to the hospital, but
And why was he laying on the floor? Like you couldn't plop him up in the back seat?
I thought he was on the seat, but in either way,
he was on the seat, just laying down.
I thought he was laying on the floor in the back. I was like, dang.
No, he was laying on the seat.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't sitting up because I made sure to look. I said, if Kimmy get in that car and that man was sitting up in the back seat the whole time, his big ass, because like a kid, you might miss the kid, but a whole grown man, I said, nah, ain't nobody sitting up in that car.
There's no way she was, because I'm thinking it was the floor, because I'm like, you didn't have to look over your shoulder or nothing this whole time. Like, how did you miss a whole body in the back seat? The floor, I'm like, maybe it was kind of dark. The back seat.
Child, I always check. I don't watch too many different scary things where they tell women about people hiding in your back seat. So I always check my back seat before I get in the car. But I guess it wasn't her car. So she was trying to get out of there. But I would have checked at some point, like even when you first stole the car, once you got to where you was going, I'd have been like, I guess I got to get another car. It's a man in the back seat.
She drove, she stopped, she was on the phone, she was waiting for Horace. Horace got in and out. I mean, there was like so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Look back there.
So they get Sylvie to the hospital. Jules calls Norman and says, Norman is like, listen, I had to handle it myself. Debo gone. So he tells him, listen, your brother was at the club. That's when he says, which one? And he's like, the Lindas. That's when I was like, how many clubs they got? I swear the judge said one club and multiple dealerships, but I'm going to let it go. So he's like, he wanted me to let Angel and Kimmy go, and she's one of ours. So they're trying to figure out, how does he know? They think it was the Judge Harold. So Jules says he's going to take care of it. He sends Traxton with the address to go take care of the judge. But, they said they got to handle Horace. I said, how y'all going to handle Horace, child? So Angel gets there with Horace, and the lady said, this is a private hospital. I said, you just let Kimmy in there with Sylvie, but okay, it's a private hospital. Then she's like, oh, it's Mr. Bellary. Okay. All right.
Child, he just soiled his pants and everything.
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said he must have had a stroke, because he was sitting there and he was talking to him. You okay? You okay? And he just finally got up. I said, ooh, that must have been a little mild stroke.
And it kept happening.
Mm-hmm. And then you peed yourself. Like,
maybe he could just get up and walk off. Like,
It's TP world, because after that, all of that, you probably wouldn't get up and just walk off and be able to walk down the stairs and get in the car. But
yeah, we
let him have it. So Angel goes and talks to Rain, and says Horace got them out. He ain't got nowhere to go, so now he got to crash there at the thing. I said, you just not even going. I mean, I appreciate him sticking up for them because he did get them into this mess. But speaking of your son, you just not going to at all try to go make it right with this child's mama. I'm assuming this kid, nothing. Okay, fine, have it. So she tells him that he's telling Rain that Horace is there, that he passed out, that he's sick, and she wants to get Kimmy to trust Horace because Rain won out too. She's like, y'all are out, but me too. Y'all, he got y'all out. Get me out of the situation. So the next morning, Jules gets Mallory on the phone, and he tells her that, he needs to meet with her and Roy. Barney goes to see Charles, who's passed out on the floor, to tell him he needs to go see Mallory because your father asked to see several lawyers and a judge this morning. Charles don't really care. Charles is like, go on to the house. He's like, I can't do that. He's like, listen, you got to be tougher than this. Like, family crazy, you're gonna have to be crazy too. Mm. So Barney's like, listen, something's going on. Charles like, you go find out and let me know. I said, I wouldn't have told you behind nothing. Okay, you don't want to know. I'm not going to tell you nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have some enthusiasm, if you will. So he goes outside. He tells Mallory the same thing on the phone. She has no idea what it's about. And they were like, you think it's about the will? That was the thing. You think it's about the will? You think it's what else do y'all think it's about? Okay. You think it's about the will? You think it's about the will? But they keep thinking that this will is ironclad. I don't know why he was the one that told him about the wife. So I don't know why he didn't put that on his bingo card, but he didn't share it. So she's like, maybe it's the lawsuit. So she's like, she's going to be there. Roy is at home in the bed. I have in my notes, like he fell on and tripped on his shoelace. Like, why are you just at home in the bed? Like, you just fell down one stair. Like, it's cool. So Jules comes and arrives and tells him about talks about Kimmy, and they going back and forth. And he's like, your father knows her. He's like, did you set her up with him too? I said, just go ahead and tell on yourself in front of your crazy wife. So Mallory's like, Jules, you a pimp. Yeah, something like that.
They didn't even stay on that though. Like they just moved on so quickly.
Nope. Not at all.
Because I'm trying to figure out, how did Mallory get in the family within saying she had a previous, problem.
Child, the world. I hope they guys gonna say the world may never know. Hopefully they give us. I feel like we have to get maybe season 2. We could be. Well, it still looks like it's gonna be Kimmy.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be Mallory and Kimmy.
right.
So I thought part 1 was gonna be Kimmy focused and part 2 was gonna be Mallory focused. I didn't know we was gonna get no second season, but child.
Yeah, I thought, because the way they rolled it out with them and their faces together, and then it's just like,
And they got their faces together too for season 2.
right, but we don't know.
Kimmy got on white and Mallory got on red. I said, I'm glad they didn't put her in black. Guess it's supposed to be the devil and the angel, but I'm glad we put her in red. But that's what they're rolling out, that little clip that Tyler had put up there, or Netflix, somebody put up there. It's just the two of them walking and facing off. I'm like,
Oh, I didn't see that.
yeah. It's a little small, like 2-second clip going around.
Okay.
So Mallory's like, I wonder what your wife would say about this. I'm like, that wife and that daughter. So Jules is like, I did not set her up, and I've never seen her with Roy. I say, yeah, that's a good way to try to get yourself out of the situation, sir. So then Barney comes in. Roy's on his BS because he's still stuck on that they had something. I was just let it go. So he's like, your father wants to see us all, the lawyers and the judge as well, in an hour. So Jules is finding it strange that Horace knows Kimmy, and now he's calling a meeting. I said, come on, Jules, please put the pieces together because y'all dragging this out far too long. Somebody got to put 1 + 1 and make it good. So Mallory's like, I'll go see him since he's not answering. As soon as she leaves, Jules is this is when we find out that Roy had anything to do with the club. He's like, if they find out I'm in on you with this club-ish, I said, oh, Roy's in on with the club stuff too. He's like, they don't know anything. He's like, he asked him to keep him clear. He's like, he didn't tell Norman and he won't tell his father. I said, lo and behold, and lo. Roy.
What's the idea that Roy knew something? Because where would he think Jules was getting those girls from?
Yeah, I knew he knew, but I didn't think he was involved.
But how involved is he really? I mean, he don't,
I mean, we know he don't do nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I think he's just aware.
He probably getting a little cut because Lord knows he don't do nothing else. He got to pay for his stuff, his little.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's not bringing that to the table, but I mean, he's a witness.
Because he's supposed to be like the head, but really Mallory's the head. Horace is fueled by pure hate for his, nope, and not leaving the world without giving him 2 middle fingers, not 1, but 2. So Kimmy shows up in Rain's room, tells her Sylvie's okay. And as soon as Sylvie gets better, she's out of there. So Rain's like, what about me? She's like, I'm gonna come get you as soon as you're better. Angel's like, I'm with you too. And that's why I said, what about your kids, sir? You just gonna run off and leave into the sunset with them? Wait, fine. So they're like, we've been through some stuff because of me. Yes, Angel, 110% because of you. So he says he's trying to make it right. And Rain asks if she saw Horace. So Angel's like, he's there. They admitted him. So they send Kimmy to go see Horace. Soon as she walks out the room, the lady is on TV. It's the same lady that Kimmy done stole the lady's car. Her dad was in the back seat. He needs his insulin. He has dementia, so he could barely speak. So they got $100,000 reward. And the lady was married to a guy who was prosecuted for criminal activity in the meat industry, and he's on parole. I said, I feel like that's probably, how about you want to bet, since they ended up locking Angel up, that's what we're going to focus on next time, because in that family, if he writes it right, it's going to like
that part.
To do something with the Belleries, because we got to tie that up. We got to tie up this lawsuit about the perm. You never tie those two things up, so yeah.
That lawsuit with the perm is going to be ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, as it should.
Yeah,
as it should.
You're going to find out what's going on with that little slap situation.
Yes, let's get into it. That's the last episode. So Kimmy goes to see Horace. We get a lot of back and forth. You don't look so good. I'm not. How's your sister? My sister's good. So he finally tells her that he didn't know anything was going on. He wants to marry her. He's like, not for sex, child. We know. We know. So he's like, I'm dying, and the only way I can keep my fortune from going to my sons is to be married. Otherwise, the will says if I die, it all goes to them, and he don't want them to get the money. So she's like, you want me to have it? How much, girl? I mean, yes, but So he's like, you have enough that you never have to work again in your life. He's like, he's vengeful, and Kimmy's like, no, there's a catch. So it's a catch. Kimmy, girl.
What are your other options? What is the alternative? Do you have anything else on the table, girl?
Right.
Something.
But she's like, I gotta think about it. Like, think about what?
She's like, why do you hate them? They never worked a day in their life. He started running down a little list, y'all. And he's like, besides, Roy. Yes, thank you. You should have started with that. Roy. Go from there, ma'am. That's all you need to know.
He's not asking for a prenup. Like, girl, please. I would have already been signing the dotted line right then and there.
Mm-hmm. And picture that for Charles. Because Charles is mean too. Because Charles be mean to Varney. Picture that, but just gay. It's the same thing. Okay. And he don't like he be putting hands on nobody. So like you said, she said she needs to think about it. She's tired of running. She want to be done with them because they're going to be after her. But he's like, yeah, but they can't, they can't really do anything to you because of the will. This one we go through again. I took out 2 people. He's like, no one will ever know. Jules knows. I got Jules. Huh? Jules got a wife, a house in the suburbs, a kid, a good standing with the city. Kimmy's like, he got a what? Yeah, girl.
I don't know how he had the time, but yeah.
And I wonder what the wife thinks he does for the family, because he said something when he left the party, like, oh, the family. So I'm like, what does she think you do for the family if you're supposed to be just a police officer? You just do security?
I thought it was security.
It was just security.
All right.
He might tell her like, oh, this family got like a lot of drama, but I'm sure she doesn't know about the trafficking.
Yeah, no, she don't know all that.
And then also too, it's so many of them. It's so many of the Bellarys and so many different businesses and stuff like that. So maybe keep some occupied.
It shouldn't just be Jules. Like, they need their own security. That never made sense to me.
Right.
And that's what Mallory's kind of alluding to in the first episode. Like, he knows too much. I'm like, he sure does.
It's just that the SHI just hit the fan. So, it's been kind of one thing after the other. But hopefully, now that that's happened and you need to regroup, you need to get your own lawyer. You need to get your own security. You need to separate from them.
Even though Varney look like he playing both sides of the fence too, child.
That's what I said.
Yeah, he definitely is. Joel's playing every side. I'm like, this is just, especially when
I think Varney probably wouldn't, but because he got this little thing for Charles, that kind of makes him.
He keeps telling Mallory everything though, like, and I'm like, she's just skating on by, unnoticed. Nobody suspecting anything from her, and I'm just like, aside from Jules, I'm like, what does she have on Jules? She be talking to him crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mallory talked to everybody crazy.
Yeah, but the way he is with the women in the club, and then the way she talked to him almost as bad as she talked to Roy.
She's like, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. Yes, Letitia, we need to know the real reason why Jules is listed in that doggone will.
I think it's just because he knows so much information. I want to know more about this father.
Sir, you could go. Like, we could just take you out and eliminate that whole piece of the puzzle. You see how that works? Just cut it out.
Yeah, but they need him to clean up their messes. But it's just not.
Get somebody else to do it.
They got to get somebody that they trust, even though they can't trust him.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't know who his connections are.
Right.
He may still have his ear and, links to other people that's in the.
Right.
So Horace tells Kimmy that she's the one that he needs to take over. He says, I'll set you up with the only person I trust who will teach you everything you need to know. I said, who is that? Who? Varney? Got to be somebody else. Who's going to teach her anything? Child, let it go. So Kimmy goes back to check on Sylvie. Angel puts her in disguise and tells her, listen, the ladies father-in-law's in the back. See, Kimmy's like, oh, is that who that is? He's like, you saw him? Yeah. I said, I can't. So she's like, oh, the car's parked in the garage. Where's the keys? The keys are in the car. I would have left that junk right there. If Angel wanted to really do something, I'd have made an anonymous phone call from that hospital and be like, I seen the car at the hospital on their phone, not on the cell phone, on their phone. Get you a little landline. I saw the car in there. If you really want to do something, but he
shouldn't have done nothing. You should have left it alone.
Yeah, well, that would have been the best recourse, but Angel's a busybody. So he's like, the husband that she's married to will make, this whole thing look child's play. I need you to go lay low in Sylvie's room. Like, what? Okay. So when she gets there, the nurse is like, oh, the paperwork you filled out isn't real. So they're going to transfer her to county. So Kimmy's like, my last name is Bellery. It will be. I'm his fiance. You can go verify. That's when Sylvie start with her stuff. She start to asking questions. You lied to me about everything.
Stay out of grown folks' business. But
She's like, I couldn't tell you. I was embarrassed. So she's like, I wanted you to go to school, go to college, and look up to me. Ma'am, how did you think she was going to do any of that in that house? But
Right. They wouldn't even let her share.
Yes. Exactly. Go to school, yes. College, I don't know. So she's like, you left me there. And he took advantage of me every day because, I can't say that word on here. So Kimmy's like, she's sorry she didn't have a choice. And we talked about this earlier. I just figure her age, she doesn't really understand the complexities, or for some reason doesn't remember that her mom took her to the Walmart and gave her $10 and threw her out. Where was she going to take you with her with the $10 in the Walmart? I didn't. Then y'all both would have been where she's at now anyway. You would have got there a lot quicker.
The fact that Kimmy was still sending them my money and stuff just never made sense to me. And the nerve to be front to me like, you was stripping. Like, girl, it's your fault.
Right. Yeah, I think he's related to them too. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to be a son. He could be like a cousin or something, child.
I go back to sleep, Letitia.
Right. Go back. And she woke up. Don't do that. Don't lie, girl. Shut up. We passed this point. It isn't her girl.
Like we said, she is little Kimmy, because that's how Kimmy be acting too, with that mouth asking all them questions, acting dumb. Ma'am, hush.
Right.
Hush.
I don't believe you. I don't. Girl, where was all this mouth when they was taking you out of the house and they throwing you into the strip club?
But she and that crazy mama and that boyfriend, I guess she didn't really want to say nothing. They probably just walked her out of there nice and easy, like come on, look, you.
That's why they gave her all them pharmaceuticals, so she was probably was running her mouth. They probably was like, oh, enough.
Where's my sister? What? Girl,
why are you doing this to me? Like, all right, enough, please.
Right.
So Kimmy's like, I have a way to take care of you. What? From stripping, ma'am? Does it matter? Does it matter? You can't take
the whole family taking digs and taking shots. Like, y'all ain't living much better. Shoot.
So she's like, he did ask me to marry him. And he's really rich. You could ask him. So they go see Horace. But before they go see Horace, we get to scene of scenes. We get Olivia giving the church a tour of the wing that my family had donated and paid for. You have a cancer ward. So we see that, what about from your company, your perm from your company giving people cancer? It's Lena the lawyer, y'all. So she's like, I'm divorced, but you're a witness. So she serves her. Ma'am, you can't serve her, but we just gonna pretend that you can. She serves her. And Olivia dismisses them people so fast. Okay, ladies, I'm gonna need y'all to go to the next tour with Miss Rose. And she bashed that lady's head into the wall. I about hollered. I said,
me too.
So she's like,
so innocent and sweet, and they're like,
she said, I'll sue you. You humiliated me in front of my church. She's like, that's $10 million. Olivia slapped the taste out of her mouth and said, make it 20. She said, don't do it again. Olivia did it again. I was like, this is WWE, baby.
Did you see that? That nurse got out there so fast. Like, girl, see what?
This is the Bellery wing. I didn't see
like, you think I want some of that too, girl? Please take your licks alone.
So Lena slaps her, And she's like, you just disqualified yourself. And she's like, there's cameras and witnesses. But Olivia's sitting there. Olivia said,
Not no more.
Right.
she just done made a boomerang of you slapping an old lady. I said, oh, Lord.
I was just trying to work for my church.
So she said, you could go after the company on my ex, but you gonna leave me alone, or you gonna regret it. I said, I know that's all right.
That video was so fake though. I said, what kind of
Yeah.
AI? I mean,
that's why I said it was like WWE, where it's like they sometimes
now,
they
in
not
person
making
it was
contact.
okay, but when she showed the video, I was like, now y'all could have did better than this.
It's a little boomerang. You see, it was on repeat, like slap.
Yeah, she showed the video. I was like, I didn't even try to make this look realistic. Y'all could have took a clip from the actual slap.
Tyler ain't have time for all that. Okay, we just gonna make a quick on the phone.
You know, he films his stuff in 2 weeks.
Right.
Child, one take, one hit a quitter. So then, as she's walking and talking to the doctor, she sees Horace's name on the room, which I don't know why you named that.
Yeah, why was his name even on the?
We're gonna
this
let
is
it
y'all
go.
wing.
Yep, she was in cat. She did that quick. I don't even think I could do a thing that quick. She was like, boop, 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 boop. Gotcha. What? Ma'am. And then where did you got into the feed from the hospital camera? Obviously, because you
signed in.
That's Alina get talking. You see that camera? Like, I do actually.
I
and
do.
here's the
footage. So she's trying to get into Horace's room, but she's like, I can't tell you anything, and he don't want it to be disturbed. And that's when Kimmy and Sylvie walk on in there. I said, Lord have mercy.
Well, it's not them just casually walking in when they don't see people outside his door. And she was like, look.
Now, you know Kimmy is not the smartest pencil in the box. Okay. She ain't got it all together, and Sylvie don't know nothing. So
she should have been doing a Google research on him and his other family members and all that other stuff. I guess
they didn't do any of that. Sophie had to get in there and start asking questions, and then Rain had to ask how much he was worth. Kimmy didn't look at any of this. Okay, Kimmy was just, I want my sister, got the sister, and ain't asked the question since.
Right, she looked at one picture in the house the first night, and that was it. Like, girl, you should have been known who the ex-wife was and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I think she was the only one that wasn't in the picture. Everybody else was up there, so she kind of got everybody else except for that ex-wife.
Yeah.
So
she had a phone, and I'm like, what kind of phone? Y'all are victims, and they give y'all phones that they pay for, and y'all don't. There's no tracking in place. Like, they just be on the phone calling people out and about, going to Walmart, like at the mall. Like, what kind of? How do you have all this freedom?
It's like they can kind of come and go as they please, but you on call. Like, if I need to, hook you out to Roy, you got to be available, and then when you're supposed to be at the club. Like, I guess
I would be worried about them running off unless I guess they just put the fear in her. Her Angel was living with his baby mama. Like, y'all just can do whatever y'all want.
But I wonder about that, because when he was telling, when Jules was telling Norman about Angel and Kimmy, he ain't saying nothing about Angel. He said this kid Angel, and he said Kimmy is one of ours. Is Angel not one of yours? Like, I guess Angel ain't got to sleep with nobody. He just gotta shake his.
Because it seems like they got something with the women. Like, they be letting the men kind of have more freedom, because they got all the women living in these. Well, I don't know, because Delinda had her own house. Then they
it was Delinda's club.
Oh yeah, because she been putting her work, so
Yeah, she was in charge of the girls.
Mother.
Belinda's dolls and dudes. I said, Belinda's dolls and dudes. What?
The rest of them living in a motel, and they got to pay for it. Like, it's the audacity for me.
With that, after that man take 85% out their check.
My services don't take care of all the expenses.
Right, I mean.
So Kimmy goes and says yes to Horace. Sylvie start asking her questions. Are you rich? How long have you known Kimmy? You know she's a liar. Lord have mercy. So she's like, he's like, I'm gonna need all that for you to help run the company. So Sylvie's like, what company you got? She don't believe him, so he give her the phone. She looks it up. She said, oh, that is you. Yes, yeah, it is. It's great. So Varney is waiting with the lawyers at Horace's house still. When Mallory comes in, they excuse themselves to speak in the kitchen. And she's like, it's not like for him to be missing. He usually be outside feeding his horses. I said, they got horses and everything over to there. Like, this is nice. You got a little lemon tree. You picking lemons and everything. So Mallory's like, this gotta be about the will. a few wants it on record. And then that's when Horace calls and is like, change your plans, meet me at the hospital. Olivia get on her phone and start calling everybody. She called Norman to ask why he's at the hospital. He don't know. He's like, the lawyer called me, said the judge is going over there. And they argue and she's telling them to get answers. But I said, I thought they said not to find a judge that they knew. But apparently Norman know this judge too. So Roy is over there being rude to the staff. When Charles comes in, talk to him about being rude to the staff. He said, you got a nerve. I said, yeah, because y'all both don't know how to talk to people. So they start talking about what the dad is doing. But Roy is also not concerned. He's like, what if he cuts us out the will? He can't. I said, oh, Lord. He's like, I asked the buff Negro that was effing my wife. He said, Varney is not sleeping with your wife. He said he saw them with his eyes. Charles says, you are lying. I said,
I was concerned that Charles was going to fall for it. Hey, Tanya back.
Well, he already knew because Varney told him, so he shouldn't have been falling for anything.
But when Varney first told him, he was acting like he really believed. And I'm like, what's going on?
He did. Well, yeah, I guess Mallory kind of was like, boy.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you tell me how, I'll help you get rid of him. But, he's like, Roy, you need to go to rehab. You're one to talk. I said, yeah.
So let me ask y'all a question.
Uh-huh.
So the reason for Mallory kind of doing that long extended hug with Varney, was she trying to get the bodyguard jealous or something?
Yes,
Calvin. She was trying to make Calvin jealous, and then Roy popped up. Like,
and then the whole thing just snowballed into some foolishness.
Right.
Because Calvin was standing outside the hallway, she could see him through the glass. And when she was getting that good, then Roy came whipping around the corner like a nut. I thought you were supposed to be going to see Kimmy. What you still doing here?
Right. And Roy was already all day trying to figure out who she's sleeping with. So now he won't let that go.
Child, he was on to it till Calvin said, I don't know, I like you. Then he was like, oh, never mind. Hey, Tanya Mac. So as they're going back and forth, like I said, Olivia's making her round. So she calls and lets them know the father's in the hospital. Norman said, the lawyers are coming, find your lazy brother and get on down here. Then she called Mallory. He's in the hospital. Why is he in the hospital? What's wrong with him? The lawyers is there. Does it have anything to do with the girl that walked into the room? Mallory said, what girl? Somebody call her Kimmy. Mallory about to pop a blood vessel, y'all. Mallory said, I'm on my way and I'm going to get in that damn room.
I couldn't believe Mallory was acting like this. Like, girl, she was about to do you a favor. She pushed your husband out the window and your hands was clean. And now you're mad. I thought she was going to be relieved. Like, oh, well, at least she pushed you out the window. Like, you really mad?
Now, so now I'm back to being mad since he's alive. Now I'm
it's
back.
Not like she worried about her image or whatever. It's like, he's been sleeping with people, but nobody knows. So let it go.
Right. I'm like, was she trying to check her or something? Like,
right.
They made it seem like once before. I guess he had got caught.
That's what I'm saying. Right. It was like, oh, you know what she did before. I'm like,
okay,
yeah.
Maybe she just trying to make sure everybody knew the rules of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
But just her reaction to it just feels weird. So
yeah, when you look at it from the you're like, if that's angry. Your only reason,
right? Yes. Like she's an angry person.
The whole family is angry and mad.
Even when they thought Charles is gone, and she was like, "Well, look, like I mean, this could be a positive. Like, girl, you are so heartless. At least play the game."
I was gonna say, even Charles, even though Charles is living his best life, he's mean too. Shoot, they all mean. So Mallory calls Jules and lets him know that Kimmy is there. So now everybody is on their way. Kimmy tells Rain, he hates his kids, so he's gonna marry me, give me all his money. So Rain's on her get money. He looks it up and finds out he's worth $376 million. So Rain is ecstatic and said, let's go on over there and talk to Horace.
I don't like that Rain was acting like it was her money. Like, ooh, we could do this, we could do that. We could, like, wait a minute now.
I need to get my butt fixed.
Right. And we could take care of the girls. Like, hold on.
Right. Let's not overstep things.
Okay, like, wait a minute. I'll put in all this footwork, okay, please.
Because what girls? It'll be me if I'm Kimmy, me, Sylvie, and you lucky if it's you and Angel. That's
right.
That's
I'm
as
like,
far as
I
this
got
goes.
You and Angel, but all this I need to get my butt fixed. Nobody told you to do that in the first place. It is getting fixed right now.
She told her not to do it. I'm gonna give you a flat amount, and you're gonna have to move forward with your life.
Yeah, whatever you do with it after that is on you.
Right.
That's all I got. I ain't got no more.
You want to be including others? Hold on now. I didn't even get the money yet.
So they're there. Everybody's there except for Norman. They all confused as to what's going on. So Varney goes in Horace's room. He tells them to set it up. We got the lawyers, the judge, the notary, the stenographer, somebody to film it. I said, Horace is not playing with y'all. He asked for a cognitive test, and then Kimmy and Rain come in. He's like, Rain's going to be my witness. Kimmy's my fiance, and she will be my wife. Varney was stuck, child. Varney was like, okay, you don't have no marriage license. He said, I have everything I need. I said, okay. So Kimmy's like, I have questions. So Horace is like, all right, take her outside and answer any of the questions. So she's asking, like, is there a prenup? Is this for real? Varney keep trying to get her to go to the lobby. And I was so glad that was the one time Kimmy had some brains in her head and was like, nah, I'm cool right here. We can answer all the questions here. Why you keep trying to get me to go to the lobby? I got to go to the bathroom. Why I got to go to the bathroom with you?
Do y'all think Horace prepped her? Because normally I think she'd be ditzy and would just go. But I'm like,
I hope so.
Or whether because he was just so adamant. Because I'm like, well, why do you keep asking? Like, come on now. You're not getting me away from this door.
Hey, Tamika. I'm hoping it was because he was adamant. So he starts talking about the cognitive test. She's like, well, Rain and Sylvie's in there. He's like, yeah, but they're not marrying him. So, they might think you've given him some kind of signal. She's like, okay, well, that's cool. I'm gonna wait out here while you go to the bathroom. She's like, okay, well, if you need to use the bathroom, it's the lobby. So he shuffle on down to the lobby and tell everybody he about to marry Kimmy. And he dashes back and Norman shows up. And he's like, what? So he's like, they're trying to dilute our shit. So they rushed that poor one security. I said, that was a setup if I ever seen one. They rushed that poor security and head on in that way. Yeah, I was glad she caught it too. Letitia said, in all fairness, Rain did take her in. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she'll take care of her, but Yeah,
I was like, she's talking about the girls in the club. Wait a minute, who are they? I ain't seen or heard from them this whole time. No.
She could get a little something, but this is not our money. This is my money, okay?
Right.
Yeah, she said, you got to pee. I don't. I know that's right. Only because the reason why I feel like he may have prepped her is because while Varney was going out telling everybody, they had already done it all.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, how they gonna do it without a license? But I mean, I guess when you got money,
Maybe that's what the notary was for.
Yeah, because I'm like, notarizing what? I didn't see no paperwork, but I guess you don't got to go to the courthouse.
Yeah, we didn't see anything. You might be. Look, you got money like that, and you just get the notary. The notary might have had the marriage license. Yeah. How do we know? I don't understand how Bellary money works.
Right.
So they rush the security. This is before we get to that. Angel's done behind, goes over there, opens that car that's stinking, and gets caught. They said they found the car with the body and is waiting for him. I said, oh, so y'all just wasn't going to do nothing. Y'all just going to wait for him. Y'all ain't going to call the law or nothing. Just going to wait and see. Like,
right.
Y'all could have slow.
Y'all could have set the surveillance up that anybody that came over there, you could have grabbed them. But yeah, Angel was slow because I would have done anything but taking myself back to that car.
Right. And then Angel was looking suspicious because I was like, because I walked up to like the wrong car thinking it was my car before. So I'm like, what if I was like, oh, because he's like, it's my car. What if I was like, oh, I thought this was my car, but it's actually the other car. But he was lurking around the corners and sneaking all around. Like, all right, well.
Yeah, he was out there for a while because they showed us earlier. That's why I was like, I'm not going to mention that.
Look at Shayna thinking quick on her feet.
And then he opened the door. He was like,
I walked into my car one time at the gas station and they was in it. Like, oops, sorry, but my car was right next to it. So it's like,
right, same color, same model.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had that happen. I've walked up to somebody else's car that's parked next to mine. Didn't look at the plate, same car, same model, same color, and everything, and been like, "This ain't my." Look inside and be like, "Nope, that ain't it." And then look over like.
This happened to me a couple times with nobody, but when the person was in the driver's seat, like, all right, now let me pay attention. He was looking like, what the? Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, he does have a somewhat kind heart since he's in so much trouble, but he
feels guilty because it's his fault. But I think he's gonna sing like a canary when they in there. She can't have felonies, and if he runs his loose lips and opens up his big mouth, It says she was the one, and she's gonna be messed
Well,
up.
they said it was a woman, so
Right.
on the news.
Oh
So I
yeah,
don't.
so maybe that will probably be his saving grace, maybe.
But then it's like, because if he ends up being like, I know the woman, and he snitches.
Was he even in
Oh.
that car? He wasn't in that car, right? He just helped her put Sylvia in the car. I don't think Angel was never in that car, right?
Right.
I'm trying to think. No, because he went back to the club. Any event, everybody rushes the room.
I don't know who it was, and she'll just bail him out.
Yeah. But he got to get to Kimmy. Well, I guess he got to call Rain's phone because she ain't got no phone.
He need to get Horace's number at this point. But if he opens up his mouth and panics under pressure like he like to do and snitches, then she's gonna be messed up.
Yeah, he's not a good liar because he's just trying to lie when Traxton was beating him up. Like, no, I know the old guy. I know him. And he didn't say his name. He's like, I know him. I said, y'all lucky Horace came in. So everybody rushes in the room. And Horace says, sons, this is your new stepmother.
That was
your new boss. And everybody was gagged. And I was like, yes.
When they saw everybody's face, I was like, ooh, them tables done turned. Checkmate.
Y'all all wanted a piece of that girl.
Not boy, she's your new stepmother.
Nasty. She know it don't work. Nasty. Roy want to push out the window. Mallory want to do whatever she want to do. Jules was tossing her.
She didn't even know Mallory was after her.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she's Jules' boss. Like, Don't think about them tables. They get to turning. Because they still trying to figure out how Horace knows her. Like, don't matter now.
Yep. Norman was in charge of it all. Only person she didn't have no really connection to was Charles and Olivia. All the rest of them was like, but she messed up everybody's money. So
yeah. But even Barney was the main one. I'm like, why are you not in the will?
His love for Charles. I don't know what the thing was with Mallory, like you said. I don't really know what his fascination was with running and telling her nothing.
Right. Everybody runs and tells her like she controls the girls. Like, what does she really do? I know she's the face of the company, but I
was gonna say, I guess they were the two smart ones that was actually supposed to be doing. She was supposed to actually be doing some business.
Every time she's there, she's just there. Like, she doesn't diffuse anything. Nothing gets resolved. She doesn't calm anybody down. She's just there in the background.
That's true.
Well, they're not really here to work.
I'm about to say, not to no fault of her own. It's just because that's just the way it's written.
We're supposed to be seeing all the other goings-ons.
It's like, I need to be there for what? What's going to happen when you there? Nothing.
But they are, Norman and Horace are like bamboozled by her. They are like, she does bring like a calming effect. They do think like she's like this smart, business savvy woman. Because you remember when she was, who was she sitting and talking to? One of them.
I think it was Norman.
Norman, yeah, about the wife when she was trying to, it ain't work.
Find out it was her. He better find out it was her.
I need that to happen.
I'm so tired of her just getting away scot-free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't work, but she was trying to calm him, and he was like, "You don't know about this family, sir. She is very much like the rest of y'all crazies."
For sure.
So don't be letting her try to calm you down and talk you out of nothing. If you're gonna knock it all over, just knock it all over.
I was cracking up when they were in the club and she was with Charles and she went over to the other side and some man started trying to give her some money. Like, you don't see this lady dressed in a regular dress. Like, what? I'm like, see, I was fine with her cussing him out in that moment.
Right.
Yeah, that was funny. She looked at him like, Ninja, what?
Do
you see this? Do you see this as Dior or whatever it was? Do you see this?
I know you are not trying to offer me no money.
So season 2 it's gonna be ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So
no.
Let's see what Miss Kimmy gonna do.
It's looking like the fall. And I can't say predictions, but what do you guys think that they'll discuss? Because I hope we get Mallory's backstories. What do you think that they'll discuss, or what would you like to see for season 2?
Yeah, I would like some more focus on Mallory. I don't know how much good it would do. I mean, I guess it depends on the writing, I think they really did focus on Sylvie and Kimmy pretty well, so they can kind of leave them out. Like if they had some drama, it could be like future drama, like the father, the stepfather, the mother coming back or something like that, and dealing with the Bellarys. But we need to explore Mallory a little bit more because she's you know what, Olivia, if there is some kind of crossover between the brothers and stuff like that, I'd like to see if that was anything that they might want to explore.
With the kids, you mean?
Yeah, with the kids, the paternity of the kids.
Her and Crazy Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I'm like, Horace, why did you marry her if you hate her so and then had kids and can't stand the kids? But I'll move on, child.
Right. Was it like some kind of blackmail move? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know because she seems like the type that would do something like that. Like, she may have like some kind of information on him, and then, she twisted his arm to do this and do that because you remember the grandfather had this ironclad thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, I want to see Olivia explore.
Yeah. Maybe they picked her like they. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe they picked her like they picked Mallory.
Yeah, like she was probably like Mallory because she plays innocent, innocent church lady. So that's probably why. That's why Mallory don't like her because she sees her and she sees herself in her.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe they like each other at one point because they actually got divorced, and Mallory act like she just won't divorce Roy. Like, how much longer do y'all got to go through with this? I'm sick of this.
Well, she still has access to the fortune through her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Mallory doesn't. She doesn't. Like if she separates from Roy, that's her connection to the family.
Right.
So I think that's the only reason why she's.
I'm surprised she won't have a kid with him just to seal the deal.
Ugh. Sorry.
I mean, she is married to the man.
I mean, is he capable? He's on so much stuff, and he can't. It don't.
Function. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Might
get him
not
some
be no good
swimmer. Get enough just to get one child at least.
Because I'm just curious because he don't seem to like that woman, and then from what Roy said, when you try to hurt yourself starting at 8, like what was going on in this doggone family?
Yeah.
But you know what? When I look at Calvin and I look at Roy. If Roy is shooting blanks, she possibly could get
Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roy would actually question
that.
Yeah, please don't have no baby with that man. Calvin is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too.
I don't know. I don't know why Horace never questioned the paternity, but I think Roy would, so that would mess it up. Because they don't get along, so of course he would question. It's not. He's already questioning her cheating now.
He's so darn reckless, girl. He done had how many kids with the angel of
who? Roy. Oh,
not really. He didn't have too many goes at it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think if she got pregnant by somebody else, he would definitely question it. So I don't think that would work. And Horace need to be asking some questions too. But I mean, I definitely want to get more of Mallory's backstory, and I'm just curious to see how Kimmy's going to be as the boss. Like, I hope Horace's storyline lasts all next season. I don't want him gone yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want Norman to find out that Mallory did it because it's like, no, we're not going to sweep this under the rug. Like, I want her exposed.
Yeah.
And with Mallory having kids, we don't even know if her and Roy are sleeping together. So, how you going to have a baby if y'all not sleeping together?
Right.
She complained in part 1 of the season that they weren't.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I wish they had done, but the moment has passed. I want them to actually set it up how they set it up. Half Kimmy, half Mallory. Instead of having at the end of part 1 where we got the sister taken into that whole thing and had to go down that rabbit hole, we should have let Mallory get a hold of her, and then she had to fight her way out when we get Mallory's backstory. That's what they should have done for part 2, and then somehow she get out and Horace and they get married in season 2. But here we are. We got Sylvie. It's okay.
Yeah, I want them to keep Horace because he definitely got a lot to school that girl with. He needs to arm her with everything that she needs in order to battle those people.
And I wouldn't think they would get rid of him because he's a main character, but they got rid of Body and Delinda. So I'm like, if y'all,
Ooh, I was glad to see them go.
Yeah, because she's like a fish in a shark tank of sharks. So he has to arm her with something.
Or unless he does it like, why did I get married too? And we think Horace is about to go, and then they surprise us and somebody else goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's not gonna be Charles and mess around and be Roy, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Like, if she could fake, like she had got, like if she could have, like, fake like she got somewhere with him, and you know how he always hides stuff like that, and then she can kind of finagle it some kind of way. She can kind of get them all loopy, and then act like they woke up the next morning, and then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, be like, oh. And then next thing you know,
we're expecting,
because he's so reckless, he might just take his
right.
out. So
I think he still would be like, I don't know, because you've been sleeping with Varney too. And so I don't think that would work.
No, if Roy is somehow out of here. If Roy is out of here.
Roy there. But then they see the baby and it don't look like, well, I guess they probably won't even question it.
Well, if it's Calvin and Roy ain't that drastically different. Like Varney is drastically different.
Right.
Like they both kind of fair skinish.
Kinda. I don't know, because if that baby come out and it's like super tall and slim, it's
well,
like
that would be that would be the problem. I was just going with the complexion wise, even though that don't mean nothing, child.
Because I mean, even look at the boys, Charles and Roy, and look at Olivia, and look at
that's
Horace. True. Like, I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, that's like my doggone kids, child. Them two younger ones, this is just like that. Like, where did you? Okay, bloodlines.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an entertaining watch.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Got me entertained.
But now that we're done, like, all right, well, I don't gotta hear the same 3 lines anymore. We don't gotta ask where Sylvie is. We don't gotta hear that his wife is gone unless Mallory gets exposed. Like, we gotta hear some new stuff.
Yeah.
Now we might hear about the wife still being gone, but we don't gotta hear no more about Sylvie next season.
Yeah.
October 24th, y'all.
Oh, that's the date?
Yep.
Okay. I said September, October, or no, I said October, November. One of those.
Too far away.
I had one on Twitter on Tyler Perry.
Oh, okay. He got it up there already. Mm-hmm. So that video is probably.
I was still looking for the clash with the white and the red on, but I still ain't see that. But
I ain't see that.
Oh, okay. I'll send it to y'all. It's a little quick. It might. You sure it's not on his ex?
I mean, that's how I was looking.
Or
I'm on
Netflix.
Instagram. I don't see.
I think I might have just been looking on the hashtag Beauty and Black.
Oh, you know what? Either Netflix or Strong Black Lead, which is Netflix, I think has it.
I was saying they're gonna go on TikTok. Like where? I don't see it.
It was on. I saw it on Facebook, and I think I saw it on Twitter too.
Oh, are y'all going to cover the Duplicity? Tyler Perry's Duplicity?
Yes.
I think
it's a movie. It's gonna be on Prime.
Oh, it's just a movie. Oh, okay.
A movie.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna do a pre-recorded. Oh, look on my Facebook on the second Facebook page. It's up there, Nita.
Oh, okay.
I think I reposted it. Yeah, that's what she said. I know. I thought I heard was the end of the year, like September, October, November, somewhere around there.
I feel like this part came on a lot. I guess it's just the second part of
the second part. Mm-hmm. Because the first part, I think, was this October or November? The first part. But it looks like they're filming season 2 already because we got that picture.
Yeah.
Of the two of them and a quick 2-second promo. The promo ain't nothing. It's really like everything has led to this, and it's basically just the two of them walking up to each other. That's it. You don't get to see anything else. It's not like you get any scenes or anything like that.
No.
All right, ladies. Nita, what you got going on your channel?
Right.
Yeah. What you got going on your channel?
I'm gonna be going live tomorrow at 8:00 for Raising Kanan episode 2, and at some point Married to Medicine and Roa. And that's
you doing
about it right now. At some point, you gotta
That's
get
good.
it cleared with Monique.
Child, we got a 3-part reunion for Married to Medicine. I don't know why. I guess because the
Did
men.
Did you see the clip?
Yeah.
Baby, I'm ready. I'm seated.
The men must be gonna get a whole part. Maybe they'll get a whole part and then two parts for the women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were a real focal point of them.
Mm-hmm. Shayna, what you got going on your channel?
I just review Ready to Love on my main channel, and then I'll do Married to Medicine and Housewives of Atlanta on my main channel as well. So yeah, so just be on the lookout for that. And then I know this is like the last episode of Ready to Love for the mid-season, so definitely check
When
that
you
out.
said that, I had no idea they were going to try to do a mid-season. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, when they said later this summer, I was like, what? I didn't watch
like a week or two, but to take a break from March to the summer, like who told y'all to do that?
All these shows are doing that now. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know why we're breaking up seasons. Like, no one asked for this. Like,
but not in the middle of a dating show. That's like Love is Blind being like, we gonna take a break, come back. No, it's a dating show. We need a completion.
I don't think we should do that with any reality show. Something like this, a scripted series, okay, maybe, but a reality show, no.
Right.
But at least I could kind of get it with like when they did that with Love and Marriage DC. But what a dating show! Like, just get to the point. That's it.
By the time you get to the second part, it's been so long since y'all filmed it. So much, like,
Yeah.
You gonna show it or not?
Because I did think they was gonna scrap that, and they were like, "No, it's filmed. We're gonna put it out." Anybody that comes on the replay, please leave a comment, #replay. Yeah, drop an emoji, something. There was no weekly huddle this week, you guys. I'll be back next Sunday to do a weekly huddle. I just have so much going on with life and everything else. And also I moved back my watch list. So next Friday we'll have a watch list. Raising Canaan on Saturday. You can watch the one I just did. Watch list on Friday, Raising Canaan Saturday, weekly huddle Sunday. We got Found right after this, and then Married to Medicine on Monday. And keep your notifications on. Is this week Duplicity comes out? I think it is this week. Duplicity comes out this week, so I may try to do a pre-recorded and throw that up at some point. And subscribe, guys. Subscribe to me and all the ladies' channels. Shayna's got 2 channels, so make sure you subscribe to both of those. Nita's channel. Keep your notifications on. Do all of the things. Please, 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 please.
Oh, Nita was looking at 2024.
Oh, you was looking at 2024?
Yes. It said part 1. I said,
I was about to say October. Oh yeah. Well, y'all about to
I think I did hear it's around that time though. So
yeah, that would make sense. That would just be a year out
from the first one. That's what I heard. It's probably going to be around then anyway.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's in the summer.
You went into summer
for season 2. Take his time with season 2. I don't want him to rush through it. I want him to.
He's already rushing through it. He's already filming it, so what's the point of waiting?
Oh god.
We're in March. I'll be good with September. September is not too bad. That's end December.
Yeah.
Because this month is
Found live now.
Yeah, 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Oh,
all right, guys.
No break.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming through. We're gonna see you in the next one. Peace.